Let's look at this one. This one says find the value of x. All right, so you can tell this doesn't look like supplementary. It doesn't look like complementary, right? So, and we know that this, what we're gonna have to use here is we're gonna have to use our vertical angles, right? Because it's two straight lines intersecting each other. All right, so what you wanna do here is you wanna say, okay, well, if I know this is 152 and I've watched the vertical angles video and I know vertical angles are congruent, then what you can see here is that the 152 and the x are vertical angles, right? Because they're vertical to each other. Okay, so what you can do here is, you know, this one is congruent to this one. So you really don't have to do anything if you understand what vertical angles means, because these two are vertical to each other. Vertical angles are congruent. So that means x is equal to 152 degrees also. All right, that easy. As long as you remember that vertical angles are congruent. All right. There isn't too much to this. So for example, let's say that they told you, let's say that they told you this angle right here is, let's say it's 28. That means this one right here would also be 28. All right, because of the vertical angles. That's why we looked at vertical angles. They're very useful. All right, let's look at this next example. This one says find the value of x. All right, well, this one's very similar to this one, right? It's just flipped over, but it's the same exact thing. Okay, so there still needs to be 180 degrees in here. There's still 180 degrees in here. So what we can say is, well, we can say that x plus 59, because this is a straight angle, because it's a straight line right here, we have this line coming out, that means x plus 59 has to equal, well, this thing has to be 180 degrees because of straight angle. Right? Straight angle is used here. All right, just like it was used here. So now we're gonna do x plus 59 has to equal 180. We can subtract 59 from both sides because the directions say find the value of x. So I'll do x equals, right? I subtracted 59 from both sides. 59 minus 59 is 0. They go away. You don't need to put 0 in an equation because it doesn't do anything. X plus 0 is still x, all right? So now we'll have that equal to 180 minus 59. And in my head, I'm just going to do 180 minus 60, which is 120. But it's not 60, it's 59. So I need to add one back. So it's 121. All right, and sure enough, if you do 121 plus 59, you get 180, which is what you need to get here because this is a straight angle, 180 degrees, and these two angles need to add up to be 180 degrees, 180. All right, last one. It says find the value of x. All right, so once again, we have this little box here. This little box is your best friend, especially when you're doing right angles. Okay, and you can see that we're going to have complementary here because of that little box. This little box right here means that these things have to add up to be 90 degrees, complementary angles. All right, very useful. So now we're going to take both of these. So x plus 68 has to be equal to 90 degrees because of the little box. Okay, so now we'll take away 68 from both sides, and we'll get x equals 90 minus 68, right? Because 68 minus 68 is 0. You don't need to put 0 in an equation. 90 minus 68, all right, is going to be, let's say, x equals 90 minus 68 is going to be, what is that, 22? Yeah, 22. Okay, and sure enough, if you do 22 plus 68, what do you get? You get 90, all right, which is what you need to get here because of the little box here. All right, little box is very useful. So I'm gonna do a little flash review. All right, so we talked about finding angle measurements. We know straight angles are 180. Vertical angles are congruent. Complementary angles are 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are 180. All right, vertical angles are congruent. So we went through and we looked at some examples as to how sometimes in these geometry problems, the x is gonna be missing. The x, we need to find out what it's equal to. But if we're good enough with the straight angles, that are 180 and the complementary are 90 and all that stuff, then we can go and find them. Like this one had a straight angle. We know it was 180, so we needed to find x. And we know that this thing had to be 180, so we did x plus 146, and we found x, which was 34, and we checked it, and it worked. Same thing with this one. Little box is your best friend for complementary problems. So x plus 63, you set it equal to 90. To get x by itself, you get x to be 27. You check it to make sure it's right. It's good. Next thing you do here, they can look a little funny sometimes, but as you practice and get better, you can see that you can kind of combine them. We drew this arc here, and we got 180 degrees. So we know that this one plus this one had to equal 180, and so we did that. And we got x plus 105 equals 180. We did all that stuff, and we got x equals 75, and we checked it to double check our answer, and we got 180. Then we came over here, and we remembered vertical angles are congruent, which is very useful. Vertical angles are congruent. And we saw that 152 and x were vertical angles, and if that's the case, then that means that they're congruent, and that's what we did here. That's why I said 152, and it happened just like that. All right. So then we went over here. We said find the value of x again. Well, it was just like this one. Okay. And so we did this little. So we did x plus 59. We did the arc. We know it has to be 180 because of the straight angle. X plus 59 is equal to 180. Subtract 59 from both sides. You get x equals 121. When you check it, it works out. Little box is your best friend. When it comes to complementary, okay, it's going to be equal to 90. This is going to come up a lot in your future geometry stuff. All right. And you get that this is equal to 90. So you do x plus 68 and equals 90, and you subtract 68 from both sides, and you find out what x is equal to. All right. We're gonna do more examples. So if you feel confused, please don't. We'll do more examples. I look forward to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.